If you could paint a bit of a picture of the way the business was before you came across us, where were things there?
I would have said the business was fairly traditional before we looked at the marketing element of our business. We had traditionally an old website. We were in the yellow pages, paying a fortune for that. And we were doing very little on social media. And I went to a conference, and the conference there went through, this is the demographic now for construction. You know, it's probably a 24 to a 65-year-old woman, majority of the times, who's on social media. That would be Instagram, Facebook, those sorts of elements. And she's who you need to be marketing towards. The husband eventually will get the say. And may help with the funding and that side of it, but majority of times she'll be the one that would be looking at elements for her new home and for her children and for her family. So we then started to have a look at a marketing approach we thought that would suit that sort of dynamic, and wanted to be able to provide something fairly quickly for her to be able to make a decision rather than having to bring everybody down traditionally to a display home like they would every weekend that 90 other builders have, to be able to make that decision. So we then went from a very traditional business to having to reconsider the way that we would approach and how we wanted our business to be displayed, socially, trust, those sorts of things.
And why was it important to you to look at those things?
I had talked to people that had used us for return clients over and over and over again. And I said to them, look, why do you come back? And they said, well, because we know that you're trustworthy. We know that you've been around a long time. We know a lot of your tradespeople because we built with you before. We've talked to other friends of ours who have always been happy. We've talked to real estate agents that love your homes. We've talked to a lot of different people to make our judgment that you're the right builder. And I thought, why don't other people have that for the ability to make their mind up like you have? And the only way to be able to get them to know about us was to be able to strategically remarket ourselves to have it so that we were heading in that direction.
And some of those great aspects, and I mean, we've spoken to some of your clients, and so we know that is the absolute truth to you guys. How are you communicating that to your audience, to new people, or to, it's one thing having a past client who knows it, experienced it. How are you communicating that to someone new?
So traditionally it'll be done through social media to begin with. Once they go through our social media pipeline, they'll probably end up on our website. And the website is where that trust really needs to be built. It needs to be shown through previous products that have been completed, previous clients that are happy, transparency, which is why we advertise our pricing and things like that. Again, inclusion, to let people know what they're getting for their money. Again, that's part of transparency. Education, which is for me a really big part of it. Educated clients are so much easier to build for because they understand what the process is, they understand how long it'll take, they understand roughly what things could cost them. They understand sometimes that the person they're dealing with right now may not be there the whole way through the process, that there are other people they may have to deal with. So we wanted to be able to provide something that gave the same feeling to a new client as it would to somebody that's built with us previously. 2 Christmases ago, I wanted to buy myself a stand-up paddleboard. I jumped online. I wanted to do as much homework as I could because I'm someone that likes to be informed before I make a decision, which is, you know, what people would do if they were going to build a home. I found this one video on a stand-up paddleboard, and it was called Rocker. And I went, you know what, I'm going to watch this. And they showed me how to inflate it. They showed me how to deflate it. They showed me how to pack it. They showed me where they get used. They showed me how to put a patch kit on it. And I went, you know what? I don't need to look at anything else. I found what I'm looking for. And I thought the only way to do that these days is to be able to provide that sort of information to someone looking to build a home. Because if I was willing to do that for an $800 stand-up paddleboard, what would I do for a $200,000, $300,000, $500,000, $600,000 house? I would want something that I could sit there and educate myself a little bit with. Build up some trust, understand that if these guys are doing it and I can't see anyone else doing that, this is where I need to go and that's where I need to build my house.